wait. Where did you come back to?
West London.
Yeah, what, Hammersmith, for
No, Whitton.
Okay,
where my mum and I are.
and got with your family?
Yeah, straight back with my family.
What was that like after all those years being incarcerated? What was it like to live normally?
I'll tell you, like the first night I got back and that, I went in about at 9 o'clock at night. I went in my mum's room and that when she was getting ready for bed and that. It was just nice to just give her a hug.
Okay, yeah.
You know, that was just them little silly little things like that. It was just really nice to say, do you know what, like Mum, I made it.
And what about like? What about reintegration and not making the same mistakes as you made before? How did you handle that? I mean, how long have you been out now, Charlie?
I've been out a year now.
A year?
Yeah, just over a year, yeah.
Charlie, I feel it's a bit nearer to me than that.
No, just
Since
over a year.
I'm 4 and I. Okay, Charlie. So you've been out a year. So okay. So what's it like, Charlie? Like after the pipe now. After the pipe. What's it like?
Life's good, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, do you walk in fear of having to do something and being returned, or do you?
No,
you know,
I don't have to look over my shoulder or anything like that.
No, has it matured you?
Definitely.
We never really have to look over your shoulder anyway. But what I'm saying, has it matured you, Charlie? Do you know what I mean?
It's definitely humbled me.
Yeah, it's humbled you.
Definitely made me enjoy like the silly little things in life.
Which are?
Just being able to walk to the shop when I want to.
Really, Charlie?
Being able to eat what I want when I want. You know?
So it just goes to show you, we take all these things for granted. You know, like when when you do a big bird, you don't actually realise. But I suppose when you're doing a big bird, there's no point thinking about those things, is there, Charlie?
No, that's it. Yeah, you almost forget about the outside world.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know, you got to remember, for years I didn't know what Facebook was, what Instagram was, what iPhones were. And because I'd never seen it, it didn't bother me. So I didn't know what I was missing out on.
Didn't you ever have one in prison, Charlie?
Yeah, but it wasn't to the extent where, like it is now, like I've got one now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, where
know, we have one all the time.
Where you check up everything on the internet now. Everything you do, you Google everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's all mad. That's crazy to me, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, how you can talk to someone and see their face.
It's mad, isn't it?
And
Charlie, what about like London itself? I mean, you've done 14 years. There have been great structural changes. What about London itself? Like, how did, was that exciting? I mean, for me, Charlie, I'll explain it my way. For me, I came out and crashed. It was very exciting for me. I was like a kid, like, wow, look at that. Look at the shroud. Look at the phones. It was just, everything's just mad. Like,
my biggest thing was going into a shop and going, oh, fucking exclusive. That's exclusive. You know, like, because that's a weird flavour. I've got to try that.
You start going mad.
You go in the shop to buy fags and you end up coming out spending 30 quid. It's like, fucking hell.
Could I ask you, I have to ask this question, I think it's very important. Did you with a lot of people, crash out as your father crashed, they go to prison and they come out. But then they start looking at people's watches and seeing people's cars and watching people make dough. And so they think, okay, I'm not missing, and jump straight back into bad habits and that. And so that, for you, did you ever think I need that and that? Are you still walking now, or are you rushing? I mean, where are you now as you sit here now? Where are we today in your reintegration? I mean,
the most important for me at the moment is I'm still looking for work.
I
just need someone to give me an opportunity, and I'll work hard for them.
What job do you
I'll do anything, to be honest.
Okay.
My real passion is I want to try and not educate kids, but talk to kids. Do talks at schools. Just tell my story, and then they take from it what they want.
So why don't you go through the probation to do?
Well, my brother is he's a mentor at Brentford Football Club,
oh, right.
And he gets a lot of referrals from youth offending, and he's trying to get me involved in that. Because.
Well,
you can't tell and say you don't understand. I've lived it. I do.
We're starting the same thing here. I've got a jack called Streetwise Wise Guys, which is to help kids, in knife crime and kids involved in that. But I'm trying to do the podcast channel first, get that up and running, and then we can move on to the charity. So you're going to have your chance soon.
Brilliant.
But so now, like, you're there, you've done 14 years, you've got all this experience. I hear you've got a kid on the way now.
Yeah.
How's that make you feel after?
Yeah, happy. It's what I've always wanted. I wanted to get out and start a family. I'm not there yet. I've not. I want obviously my own place and all that, but. Comes in time, innit? You know what I mean? You can't rush everything.
I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I know you've got another kid, and I know you missed a great deal of his life. As a father, how does that make you feel?
Sad. probably makes me determined not to waste any of my next kid's life. You know, I wasn't there for first steps, first words.
And will you hopefully hope that your son will come around eventually and come and see?
Well, yeah, we talk on that, but
yeah.
He's obviously he's got someone that he kind of calls dad.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
I respect that. You know,
Go on,
he's been
Charlie,
there for him, so I respect that. I'll shake the geezer's hand.
Oh, well done,
but one day he might have to ask me. I don't know, sort of for advice. He might ask me something that he can't tell his mum or his stepdad.
I love that with Charlie, because you see a lot of people, when someone else takes over their child's upbringing responsibility, not totally, but it can be very difficult, and they want to go and hurt the fella and do something to the fella, when really, I always say this to people, with Bird, when you go and do Bird, people always expect, I mean, in the old days it was different. You had to expect the gangster's mole to stay there and she'd stay with you through thick and thin, but today's not like that. And so people now, they think when you go to prison that, you know, the missus stay. I always say to them, look, you can't hate your missus if she goes off with someone or does something else or moves on with life. What do you expect her to do? Just because you fucked your life doesn't mean she has to fuck hers as well. So I think, you know, for a young man, I think what you just said there is very
all I can do is give him the best advice I can. You know, I'd never say, oh, yeah, go and smash their face in or something like that.
Okay, you know? So you used to hit knife crime and drink. You found it all funny. That's what kicked you off. So what advice now would you give to people looking in and kids, and because we're going through this stabbing epidemic at the moment?
Yeah, I'd say life's too short.
So what advice would you tell them after everything you've been through? What would you say to these kids with the knife, and they think they're going to go out and they're carrying it and they could stab someone?
I'd say the key to freedom is education. Educate yourself. You know, read.
Okay. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Remember where you saw him first. Remember where you heard him first. Remember where you saw him last. Charlie Southgate. Okay, 14 years. IPP, doing 99. Done it all, seen it all, been all around the system. Please remember to hit the like and subscribe to keep the show alive. Whack it, kick it, touch it, punch it, whack it. But whatever you do, touch it. Hit the like and subscribe button. Well, crash how's your father? From London's craziest gangster. See you soon. Ha!